everyone, this is Lakeisha Reed, and I'm here to show you how to create my art journal page, Bloom Blossom Become. Prior to starting my video, I gestoed my page and painted a layer of green paint. I used my brayer to give it some additional texture and to remove some of the color. And now I am taking some Tim Holtz tissue paper to add a little bit more to my background. Once I was happy with the placement of my tissue paper, I reached for my matte medium to glue them down. I prefer matte medium because it offers a truly matte finish versus Mod Podge, which is still a little bit glossy even when you're using the matte version. To make sure that I had the smoothest application possible, I applied matte medium to both the page and the piece of tissue paper, and then I used a squeegee to make sure that there weren't any air bubbles. Add some more paint. I'm using an airtight container so that I can save my paint. It's the best thing since sliced bread if you don't have one. Previously I was using a Frisbee, which you'll see later on. But anyways, I used some glazing medium to add more transparency to my turquoise paint, because what I really want to do is just sort of mesh the tissue paper with the background. Right now it kind of stands out to me and I want to push it back a little bit. Is adding a little bit of glazing medium to some gray because I still want to work on pushing those elements to the back. can really see the glazing medium at work. You're getting pops of that turquoise and that green, and it's looking so beautiful. I really love the look that I can get from using a dirty brayer. It's got so many layers of built-up paint on it, and it really gives it great texture. I'm using a little bit of water on my brush to sort of lift some of that gray because I kind of felt like I added it a little bit too much. And it's just repeating. Add a little bit more water, smooth it out with the brayer, and now I'm using a tissue to sort of pick up some of that excess water that might have still been left from adding it with the brush. And then one more time with the brayer to put that texture back in there. I'm using a chalk or white charcoal pencil to lightly sketch in my drawing. I have a reference image which I can provide a link to. I found it on Pinterest maybe, of a vase with some flowers, and I don't know, everyone's painting it and I just really wanted to do one myself. I've never really painted in this style, so I thought, what the heck, let's just give it a try. I'm not really too concerned with making mistakes because, for one, it is just charcoal and I can easily wipe it away if I do make a mistake, and two, I just really want to have fun and keep it light and free. To a point where I thought, I can't really see my sketch too well, and I'm ready to sort of add some ink. So I used the Faber-Castell Pitt pen in black. I love these because they're permanent once they're dry, and you can really do some shading if you go ahead and move the ink before it sets, and I really love that feature because you can't do that with a lot of other markers. That I'm going to cover all of this line work up with paint, so I stopped taking it so seriously and just sort of put in the general idea, general sketch that I wanted to follow. Now we're painting. So I've just got some pretty basic acrylics, and I'm going to use white to go ahead and fill in my first set of stripes. I mixed a little magenta and white to create the color for my second set of stripes. And same as before, we're just filling them in. Every now and then I reach for my water to sort of thin the paint out, because I'd rather build up layers than apply just like one thick coat. Painting the flowers. I really didn't have any sort of method to this madness. I just sort of did paint strokes in the shape of the flower, very loosely following the outline that I had drawn in, but not very attached to it. For the rose-like shapes, I just sort of brushed in a circle, adding different colors as I went so that I could get the values that you would find in a rose without actually having to paint them in very specifically, if that makes sense. Now I'm reaching for a bit of purple to work on my next set of flowers. I'm going to go with the same concept. I'm going to loosely follow the outline and use brush strokes to create the shape of the flower. Every now and then I'm going to grab a different color, pink. I didn't really clean my brush, so it was already there, so that I can give the flower dimension. Same train of thought for the leaves, adding a little bit of lime green, a little bit of phthalo green. Just keep on adding those layers and playing with the colors. To sort of take a break from painting my flowers, I went ahead and started mixing gray for my table. And this is fairly simple. I'm just blocking in the gray color. If I had a satisfactory amount of the gray down, I mixed some darker gray to one, add some contrast between the vase and the table, and to also give the vase a bit of shadowing. Painted the table, the more I realized that the shape of my vase wasn't quite what I wanted. So periodically you would see me covering up bits of the vase and reshaping it to get the look that I was going for. Then I just smoothed out the two shades of gray, and then added a darker gray to keep giving that vase a shadow and keep working on that perfectly rounded bottom. Blend on the various grays that I used in the table. I used a brush that was slightly damp and just sort of smoothed it across the page, just not really brushing, but gently gliding the colors into place. I started to use red for my shadowing, and then my battery dies, guys. So you don't actually get to see any of that process. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll be sure to answer them to the best of my ability. Now you guys can watch in real time how I finish this art journal page. At this point, I thought I was finished with the page, and then I felt like it needed more, so I kept on going. Now you guys get to see the circular motion that I used to paint my rose-like flowers. I really just said dab, 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 dab. Not much to it, but it gives the illusion that I was going for.
purple flower really stood out to me, so now I'm just working to go back in and add 2 more. Um, Adding these 2 additional flowers is going to give the page a little bit more balance. If you feel that your page is lacking balance, you should always aim to include at least 3 of whatever element it is and arrange them in a triangle. yet again, my battery failed me and I wasn't able to catch some of the finishing details. Prior to this, I stamped Bloom Blossom Become on my page, and now I'm just going back and adding some shadowing because I used a metallic ink that I just felt needed a little bit more. The Bloom Blossom Become has become my sort of mantra for the year, and I encourage you all to not let anyone stop you from blooming. If there's something that you want to do that you've been holding yourself back from, I encourage you to water your roots and become. Thank you for watching my video, and I look forward to creating many more, and I hope that you will join me again in the future.